So, A360 Mobile, this is what we're going to talk about today. Roy's going to give an overview of the mobile app. So if you haven't seen it, haven't used it, he's going to just give you a little bit of lay of the land and show you what it does. And then we'll do a live demo and give you some tips to get you started. And we will be doing Q&A throughout the presentation.
So hello everyone, hi, my name is Roy Oved. I'm the product manager for A360 Mobile. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a quick overview of A360 Mobile, some tips and some sneak previews of what's going up next. So first of all, what is A360 Mobile? So A360 Mobile is actually a mobile extension for A360 Web, which you probably know. So the mobile app really focuses on relevant mobile workflows while you're on site, while you're on the go. You can get updates and be notified for everything going on your project and on your data. So basically, you can view, find, and share on the go. So one of the things that you're doing on your mobile, so we do target users to get their data anytime and anywhere, whether you're online or offline. And the mobile app is available for both App Store on the for iOS on the App Store and for Android on Google Play. One of the big powerful things about A360, both mobile and web, is that this is actually the most powerful viewing engine out there. We support more than 100 file formats from the major Autodesk and all the competitive designs. We support small files up to a really huge viewable designs on your tablet or phone, and we have like a really great and powerful viewing tools and search tools. You can search every part on your model in seconds. It includes also, of course, AutoCAD, Revit, Navisworks, Inventor, Fusion, SolidWorks, CATIA, SketchUp, and a lot more. And everything is on your mobile app or your web browser. So why A360 Mobile? So like I said, your data is anytime, anywhere. You can view it, any design file, whenever you are on the site or in your office. You can easily track the progress of your files and projects whenever you are. Like I mentioned before, the viewing engine, and of course you can find your files and pretty easily and view them. Quickly share your thoughts, add markups, add comments, and review with anyone on the go. And of course, for a mobile app, we support offline, so you can view your files while you're online and then check them out while you're offline on site with no internet connection. So this is a quick overview, and now let's go and see a live demo of the mobile app. So let's do first of all a quick overview of what we see in the screen. So on the left side you see the navigation. We can open it and see the main sections of the app. First of all, we got the activity, where we can see everything going on in our projects. We can go straight to our projects and view their any data or information related to the project. The third one is data. This is where I'm located now. I can see all my folders and all my project data. And also we can see the recent and offline data. We will go through them deeply later. And on the bottom you can see we have the settings menu and a way where we can participate in a quick survey. And we'll get to that pretty back soon. So let's start actually with opening one of our projects. So I'll just switch to the project section on the left. And now you can see all my projects, all the projects that I'm a member of are listed here. We can scroll down and see all the projects. And let's go to the A360 Hangout project, the first one. In the project.
Hey Roy, can I just have, let's have you slow down just a little bit. Our screen's catching up. So we're just a little bit behind you. So now we can see activity. There we go.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, Brett. So here in the project, we can see three sections. We can see the activity tab. We can see the second is the data tab, and the third one is the wiki tab. I can just swipe left and right, or tap any of the tabs to open it. So let's start with the data. Now I can see all the data that is stored in the A360 Hangout project that I am a member of. You can see all the different files, photos and 3D designs. We have folders of photos. On the top right, you can see I can switch between the second bottom on the top right. I can switch between a list view or a tiles view, whatever I prefer. Usually the list view is better when we watch on iPhones and we want more space and more items to be shown on the screen. We can navigate through folders. Just tap the Photos folder to see the files.
Hey Roy, I got a question right there. I mean, because actually maybe it's more of a statement for folks listening, because this is something that Bud and I cover on the Getting Started Hangout every other week. And it's really, folks, just to point out the importance of organization of your project. So as you saw in Roy's project here, he had created, this is really, again, it's an extension of your A360 Team Hub. So if you go and just upload a bunch of files into a project container, it's going to come across on your mobile device, whether it's your tablet or your phone, as just, a myriad of files, right? So make sure that you do a good job of creating those folders first, and then uploading your files. Otherwise, it makes it a challenge to scroll, look for your file that you're looking for, or search for it. Again, anything that you can do to be more organized and creating those folders underneath the project heading, it'll help you definitely, especially as you're viewing on like I said, a tablet or even a smaller screen with your phone. So, just a little tip there.
Great tip, thanks. So now I'm in the Photos folder. Let's just get back and let's just open one of the 3D designs. So let's open the A360 Mobile. I can use 2 fingers to pan the design, the model. I can use pinch to zoom in and zoom out. I can do a 2 fingers rotate, and I can orbit the design with 1 finger. So on the bottom of the screen you see the home button where I click it, so I switch back to the home view. And on the left part we have the panels. So let's go through the panels. I click the first one, the top one, which is the sheets. You can see the panel is open on the left. Here, this sample only have 1 sheet, but if your design have a list or many sheets, they'll be all listed here, and you can just tap to switch between the different sheets. The second panel is the parts. Here, all of the parts in the design are listed. They are all organized in a hierarchy. For example, I can tap any of the parents here to see all these items and objects. Whenever I click any of the objects, I get to isolate that part. You see, I got to zoom in and isolate. Let's just zoom out to see what we're seeing here. We're actually seeing the foot of the robot. Let's go and see something else. That's part of the hand. So the part I'm selecting is isolated and zoomed, so I can show what I've just selected. And if I want to go and see the properties of this particular object that I selected, there are 2 ways doing it. One is, if you can see on the selected part, there is on the right there is the information button, the I button. So I click it, and then I switched into the 3rd tab, which is the Properties tab, and then I can see all the properties from the original design. Let's get back to the parts, and you can see on the bottom I can reset and show all the parts, and to unisolate that part. There is a second option how I can see the properties and that is by, if I go and switch to the Properties tab, you see now any part I will select, I will see his properties. So let's, for example, tap on the head, and I can see on the left the properties. So any part I will tap on, I get to see the properties on that left panel. Okay, so let's close this. So this is about the viewer. On the top right, we have two buttons. One is the full screen, if I want to go and see more immersive mode, if I want to present someone without the distraction of all the, the toolbars and everything. So I can go into full screen. And another interesting thing we have here is the share button. If I click the share button, which is, and just next to the full screen, what I'm actually sharing is a screenshot. So it just snaps the current camera view of what we're seeing, and then I can share it using email or save it to my device or share it with any other app I have installed on my iPhone. The interesting thing here is the add markups. If I'd like to note someone, so let me just tap the add markups button. If I want to share it but to note something, so I can just mark up whatever I'd like. Let's just do some basic markup. And that's it. I just put a markup, I click the done button on the top right, and now I can share it with the markup I've just annotated. Let me just get the markup, see what kind of tools we have. So you can see on the bottom of the screen, the pen. I have several tools. I have just a freehand pen. I can use and add text. I can add arrows. I can add measure lines or a rectangle, and I can have some, many different colors and sizes of pen. So this is a great and quick way to just annotate and share my stuff. Let's, for example, go and see how it goes for the email. Just get, the iOS email composer. I can just send it to him whoever I want, and it will be sent to him.
Yeah, I got a couple questions here, Roy.
Yes.
So is there any limitation on how many markups I can do on a file, or is it I can just keep picking up markups and one after another, and it saves it and I can email those out? Or is there any limitations on markups as far as that goes?
No, you can do how many markups you want. No limitation. Just take as much snapshots as you like and mark up and send them. No problem.
Gotcha. And then I had a couple of other questions that have already come in on the queue. One of them is about and I know I'm not sure if you can tell me, hey, we'll cover that in a minute. Is offline viewing.
Yeah.
I have one question about, hey, I know that we can view things online right now, but what about offline? And when I lose my internet connection, or if I'm in a place where that's remote, where I do not have an internet connection. And then the other one was relative to turning on or off multiple layers within a file, if we have any ability to do that. So I'm going to take that first one, or you tell me which one you want to take first.
Yes, so offline we're going to cover later on. I will talk about offline and how we can make files available for offline. About the layers, so for 2D files, we can see, just like we've seen here, the parts for a 3D file. So for a 2D files, I just don't have a sample here, but for 2D files, here on the list of all the layers, you will see a bubble icon, and you can just turn on and off any of the layers. So you can toggle multiple layers, turn them on, turn them off, and once again, you can just use the share button to capture whatever layer state are currently, add your markups, and share it if you'd like. On the navigation, I'm going to go to the data section. So if I wanted to open the app and just go straight to data, this is where I go. Here you can see the list of all folder for each of my projects, and you can also see the first folder, which is the A360 drive. So if any of you are familiar or use the A360 drive, which is the to sync desktop files, so here is where your files will be listed in that folder. Right. So now let's go. The fourth section in the menu is the recent. You see I tapped the watch icon on the left. And here we can see any recent files we opened on the device. So all the files opened on the device will be listed here by the time I open them. And the fifth section is the offline. So the question about offline, so here are the files that are available for offline. So for example, let's just test it. I'm gonna go to airplane mode just to make sure I don't have any connection. And I open that robot again. And you see it immediately open from the device cache. It is stored there. And now for the question, how do we get files to be offline? So every file you open on the device, and even to make a bit more clear about it, so every sheet of every file you open on the device is automatically stored for offline. So if you plan to go on site or you know you're going to go somewhere, you know, with bad connection, so just to make sure to open the files before you go when you're online, and then they will be available for offline. We do plan to have to extend the offline options in the future, like to tap a file to download it or to download the entire folder. But this is something we're gonna introduce later on in our roadmap. So for now, so that is so my tip is whenever you know you're gonna go somewhere with no connection, just make sure you open the files you need prior to your before you go out. This is how to make them available for offline. One more thing you see in the files list, there is the little information button on the bottom right of each file. So if I tap it, I just tap the information on the robot file. You can see more information about the file, what is the type, when was it created or updated, and you can also copy a link to that file. So if I just tap the copy link, so the link to that file just copy to my clipboard, and now I can go, you know, to my email app and just paste it and send this link to whoever I want. Of course, the person who gets it needs to have permissions to the file, so make sure to give them the permission. So I got back to the project, and now I want to go through the activity. So you see the first tab of the project is the activity, and here you can see everything going on your project. You know, whenever someone uploads a file, whenever someone posts something interesting. So this is the place where you can have, you know, whenever you are, you can just log in and track everything going on the project. Everyone can share whatever they're doing or their status. So this is the place to catch up. You can comment on everything. They just comment on one of the activities. See, and here you can just, you know, have a conversation and comments with everyone and share your thoughts. Once again, I go back to the menu, and the first one, the activity, I tap it, and here, unlike what the activity we've just seen, here we can see the activity of all the project I'm a member of. So if you just want to catch up, you know, what's going on in other projects and all the projects you are a member of, you can just go here and see the entire activity. And if you're interested of seeing, you know, in a specific project, you can just go through the project and see its activity. Great. So now, how do we, you know, one of the big thing, the important thing about mobile here, so how do you get your files here? Of course, you can go to the web and upload your files through the web. We're not going to cover it here, but how I'm going to do it from mobile. So there are a couple of things you can do. If you're up to upload a photo, so you can see the plus button on the top right. I just tap it. And you can see that from here you can just take a photo, or choose a photo from your library and upload it. If you'd like to have, I'm guessing that a lot of you use Dropbox or Box or Google Drive or any other cloud-based solution. So what if you want to take one of the files over there and upload it here to your A360 project? So I'm going to go out of the app and open and drop.
Oh, there we go. Okay, very good. Sorry, thanks. I thought things were hung up.
Okay.
Keep going.
And I'm going to open the Dropbox app I have here. And I prepared some sample files. And you can see I have some, it is the same robot file, but this is, a DWFX files, for example. So of course I'm going to tap it. And of course the Dropbox cannot show this kind of files, but I want to upload it to my A360 so I can view it. I guess that the iOS users here in the audience probably know the share option, which you can open files in other apps. So here in Dropbox, when I tap the share button, you can see on the button the open in, the middle one. And once I tap it, it suggests me different apps that I can open the file with. And you can see one of them is A360, the second one. And once I tap it, sorry about that, it brings A360. And here it tells me to choose where I'd like to save my file. So I can see the list of all my projects. Let's click one of the projects. And on the right of this dialog, I tap select, so I can upload the file to that project. So now the process is that the file is taken from Dropbox and it's uploading to my project. The next step is just generating a preview so I can view it on mobile. So you see the two on the bottom, the two left ones. These are the ones I just uploaded. So you see they don't have a thumbnail since they are still generating the preview for mobile. So we're going to need to wait for that. So this is, for iOS, this is how you can upload files to your projects. Later on, we're going to have like simplify things and connect to Dropbox and other services straight from the mobile app. If you're an Android user, so once you tap the plus button here on the top right, there is a fourth option to upload file. Since in Android, where the operation system is less restricted, you can just tap upload file and you can choose any file from your device, including files that are stored in Dropbox and Box and other apps if you have them installed. So for Android, the process is actually easier since the Android platform is have more options to access any file on your device. Right. Another thing I'd like to show you on the bottom left of the screen on the navigation, there is settings. Here on the settings, you can clear the recent data and clear the offline data if you need to, have some space on the device. If you're a Bustle user, you can through the connect section, you can just add your Bustle site. You can just put your site name, username, and password, and then it will appear as a folder in your data. You can connect as many Bustle sites. You're not limited to only one. And here are some, you can, in the feedback and support section, you can just tap and send us quick feedback for mobile, or just take our survey, or join our community. You see on the top the file is ready notification. Yeah, so I just tap it. Have you seen it? I'm not sure if it's.
Are you talking about the Buzzsaw connection?
No, probably you missed it. The file is ready, so I got notified on the top of the screen.
Yeah, the file notification where you were uploading it with a notification where you saw that and where your file is ready. Yes, that is very
yeah. So it took a couple of minutes, and now I just tapped the notification, and the file that I've just uploaded is here, and this file came from Dropbox, from my Dropbox account.
Hey, Roy, can I stop you for just a second? I want to go back to that buzzsaw thing because you'd mentioned before a couple minutes ago, the plans to be able to link directly to these external data storage systems like Box or Dropbox. And today, what we have in iOS is that we've added the, you can, for those users that are using buzzsaw today, which is our own technology, you can actually directly link and pull content from your buzzsaw site, right? It's a one-direction. You can go in and open a file. Is that right? I know it's not both directions, but is it download from buzzsaw or upload to A360? How does that exactly work once you establish the connection?
Yeah. So once you establish the connection, you get to see here another folder just after the A360 drive. You get to see another folder for your buzzsaw site. And then once you tap it, you can just browse it like you browse any A360 folder and any A360 data. Just go through your files. You can open the files and see them, and just view them in the app directly.
Right. So you can open anything from your buzzsaw site. You can't upload content into your buzzsaw site yet, though.
Exactly.
Okay. So,
yeah. So yeah, it's for viewing only at this point. So you can just connect any of your buzzsaw sites.
Hey, can you go back to your settings? Because I want to show there was two other things that since you were there, I just wanted to make sure people were really clear on. For the offline viewing, the top two items, as far as you can offline view anything you previously have viewed because it's cached until you click one of those two top data links, whether it's clear the recent data or clear the offline data. I just wanted to make sure people knew where that was. The other thing, if you scroll down a little bit, is, yeah, there we go. That's the one I'm looking for because Bud and I get nailed for this, 3 times a week at least. How do I log out? Now, I'm not sure why people need to log out of their mobile app, so if anybody's got a good reason for that, I'd love to know. But it's interesting. People will come back and ask questions, hey, how do I log out of my mobile app? And because it's below the original view and you have to scroll down, you don't see a slider bar on that, folks. So I just want to make sure and point that out. Go to settings, you scroll down, that's where the sign out button is. For, if for whatever reason you got to log out and log back in, that's fine. That's where it's located at, and we know it's we hear you loud and clear. We know it's in a unfindable spot. So I'm almost sure that Roy's going to fix that immediately at some point.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's going to be like a starburst in the upper right corner of some sort. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, flashing lights. There you go, Heather. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, Roy. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another question, too, that people were asking about, or somebody was asking about the is there a max file size for mobile? It's all related to A360, so there's really no max file size on this, right, as far as what mobile can handle versus what we can throw into A360, is that correct?
Yeah, so at the moment, the iOS app limits to 100 megabytes when you upload through the app. And this is mainly because we want to make sure people, if they don't have, use internet connection or, just want to make sure they don't get upload really big files. Android is not having the same limitation. If you're using web, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you can upload files up to 1 gigabyte.
Okay.
So if you need to load really big files, you can do it through the web, and medium, small to medium files, you can just go and use the mobile app.
Got it. Okay. One other question, and Bud, this one might be to you too. I've got an interesting question, and I already responded back to the individual here, Adam. It's all about your question about opening and saving files, such as like Navisworks, for example, directly directly from, let's see, is there a plan or ability to directly save files from Autodesk software programs like Navisworks to A360 team projects? So obviously that's outside of the mobile world, so Adam, I'll follow up with you individually on that. And yeah, so I'll just do that. That's probably the best way to attack that because I don't know that any of us would know that question. The other question that I'd seen come through as far as the ability to, so if customers are part of different hubs, Roy, can you show how you switch back and forth from different hubs? Because this will happen a lot, folks. You'll get invited to multiple hubs. You'll think, okay, I've logged into my mobile device, but I only see the hub that I started or that I'm the first hub that I got invited to. How do you switch back and forth from different hubs within the mobile device?
Great, thanks. Great question. So if you would just open the navigation, I think, do you see it? I think it's frozen. Oh,
yeah,
there you go. Yeah. So if I open the navigation, you see on the top left, you see my name and the hub name, which in this case it's the same. And you can see on the right there is the arrow. So the arrow will only appear for users who have more than one hub. And once I click it, I see all the list of all the hubs I'm a member of. And whenever I just click on a different hub, so I just get loads again and see the data related to that hub. And if I go to the project, so I see, so this hub doesn't have projects, so it's not a really active one. So I can just easily switch between the hubs and see all the data and project related to that hub.
Cool. Okay. And then as far as I know you've got a survey in the system here too. I don't know, did we take a look at what questions we're wanting to find out now from customers? Because again, folks, this is, in addition to the forums that Bud and I are on all the time, there's, the survey specifically within the mobile apps is really great. We love to get feedback that way too. And I don't know if you clicked on that already, Roy. I didn't see it. It'd be nice to see, and we change the questions all the time, folks. So don't think that you come in and take it once and it's always going to be the same thing every time. Roy and his team are always looking for feedback, and they're changing the questions consistently. So definitely come back and give us feedback.
Yeah, so you can see on the bottom left, above the settings, you can see that a speaker sort of icon. And once I tap it, like Brett mentioned, there is a survey. So it's actually really important for us to participate. And like Brett mentioned, we keep updating the questions. Usually you'll get to see 2 questions like, what is the next feature you'd like to see? So you can really, make a difference and influence in our prioritization. And so, for example, here, this is the first question. The second one is, what viewing features you'd like to see first? So we're really, into to get your feedback. So, feel free in every new release, check out our survey and help us help you and make your work a lot more easier. So thanks for mentioning it, Brett. This is the survey. And now, what, I want to show you, just switch to our, development version, just to show you a sneak peek of things going on. So what you see here is not the apps that are in the App Store. It is in development now, but I'd just like to share with you some of what's going on. It will be available soon, so stay tuned. One of the things we're introducing here, which by the way already available for Android users, you can see on the top there is the search bar, when I can just tap and searching for my files. So that's an easy way to just get, and see my files pretty quickly. So this is one thing coming up really soon. Next thing, I'd like to go into the, let's open the robot design again, and we're introducing a new concept of commenting. Do you see the 2 glyphs on the robot, and with the number 1 and 2? So we're actually introducing a new, really cool way to communicate in your design. You can just, tap anywhere and add a note, some comments or feedback you'd like to share, let me just tap on number 2, for example. So the camera moves, to that particular area that the commenter is likely to see, and you can see on the left the comment. I can show you how can I add a new comment. I can just tap. You see on the bottom there is a create new, just next to the home button. Create new comment. I tap it. I click anywhere I'd like to tap, and I leave my comment. So you can notice here that every tap I make on the design, you see open this contextual menu with relevant actions I can do. So for example, now I tapped on the arm, and you see I have several options. The right one is, for example, the eye icon is to show the specific part I just chose, so its properties. The middle one is create a comment on that area, and the third one is, for example, to isolate. So let's tap the isolate button. So you can see I immediately isolated that part without the need to go to the parts list and search it and tap it.
Right, but just to be clear, when we roll this live, whenever we do, as soon as a new version comes up, those comments they will not travel with that and portray themselves on the new file. Is that correct, on the new version?
So they will continue with new.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Another thing, let me just open a construction file, like a house. I want to show another thing we're working on, which is a walkthrough mode. You can see on the bottom right this man walking icon, which is really relevant for in AEC files. So when I tap it, you can see this walkthrough joystick that I can just go and move around the design and walk through the house. The button next to the joystick is to turn on gravity and walk through walls. So if I tap it, for example, you see that now I get, the gravity pulls me down, and when I go to a wall, I just, 1 second. Oh, sorry, my iPad crashed. Told you it's a development version, so nothing.
I've been impressed with the thing that, yeah, that is great. One crash, see, that's totally tolerable for the version, yeah.
Yeah, so actually the iPad is now resetting, so it's going to take a second. So if you have any questions so far, I'd love to answer. Actually, this is the walkthrough was the last thing I wanted to show you on the iPad itself. So just a second, let me just go back to the slide.
So I have a question on that walkthrough. So what was the intent? Is it how is it different than the how is it different than the other walkthrough that we've seen as far as the in the web? Is it similar to what we see in the web experience today?
So web have quite a different walkthrough. It doesn't have the joystick, and you can just walk around like a person in the design.
Okay.
It's really it's really intuitive for mobile when you use touch gestures. So the joystick is really intuitive. On web, the walkthrough, you just double tap a point to walk to it. So the web actually have a walk to and feature, and in mobile we just introduce it like a person walking in the design.
It feels almost like a gaming experience.
Yeah, actually.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to turn this. Yeah, that'd be great. So we'll stay tuned, folks. The game will come soon, right? So first-person shooter. There you go.
Great.
Cool.
So,
right, thank you.
So what else coming up next in our roadmap for mobile? So we also started working on measurement tools, so you can measure, distance, both 2D and 3D designs. Markups, Same like comments, so we're gonna have like introduce like markups conversations, and you can mark up on the design itself and you know, just see it. Walkthrough that just introduced, notifications, the design comments, which I show you a sneak preview of that, and you got a lot more surprises coming up. So you know, just stay tuned, folks.